Cody.
Yeah.
Is Brit in the building. Yo, DJ Quiet Storm, John Rozier's in the building. And, yo, it's about that time for our featured guest. She manages everything you could think of, from social media to artists to artist management, development. I think she got her own shoe company or some shit. I don't even know. She goes by the name of Alesi Zito.
Yeah.
Welcome.
What's up?
Welcome. Because you have been here before a couple times.
I have, yeah.
And that's because of what you do and why you're here.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really been the one to speak in the microphone except for that last time.
I hear you, girl. I'm the same. I don't like it. I say really inappropriate shit. Yeah. You just heard it for the last one. Shut up, John. Shut up.
It happens. It happens a lot here on this show. We say a lot of real inappropriate things, but, you know. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Welcome. And you were here, like I said, you were here with a few other artists. Now you're here because I love what you do. I love your hustle.
Thank you very much. No, greatly appreciate it. I've been doing it for about 5 years now. So I did it throughout university as well, and I'm still doing the contract work as well as working full time right now.
So it's artist management.
Yeah, so artist management, artist development. I do a little bit of other talent management, so comedy and stuff like that. Just try to diversify that portfolio there. And then I also do the social media management.
Were you just about to yawn? Okay.
Jesus
tired,
Christ.
come on.
Just pay attention,
Yeah.
okay?
Continue.
Give her a break. Leave her alone, okay?
Yeah, so any type of management and development, I basically do it.
So do you have your own company then, or do you work through?
So I didn't set it up under a company name. Instead, I just do independent contract work.
Okay, so you're your own business.
Basically,
Yeah.
essentially, yeah.
Cool.
So I can do it for, labels. I've done it for labels in the past with a couple of my past artists. But in terms of social media management, brand management, that type of development, I tend to do it based on word of mouth. So Instagram reach outs. I used to have like a website page, but I didn't really get. And it's a website, right? I mean, it's not social media.
Instagram's website now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's funny. It's funny because I do kind of the same thing as you. I don't manage artists, but I do the branding and like marketing and aspect of things. But I'm in the corporate world as well.
Yep.
So, but for my corporate world stuff, it's like they're so like we need a website and like they're not about the Instagram and the social media. They will be in the next 5 years, but. It's interesting, right? Like where it's going and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, big time. I mean, I'm also in the corporate world, and luckily I'm in social media management within that, but I find there's still such emphasis on the older practices, like the website and the website development, tracking those types of analytics, and I find really what's really important right now is just pushing even like IG lives and getting the views in different ways, and you can backlink and do a couple of different tricks to get those views as opposed to focusing on the nitty gritty, like older analytics, seeing how many people come and land on your homepage or, like stuff like that. It's just not scalable anymore.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've gotten business from my website, so which is good because it's like is that old school kind of mentality with that, right? But I mean, within the next 2 years, I don't think I'll have a website, maybe, but I think it's cool, like whatever. Yeah. It's easy to maintain, right? But
I think it'd be easier if there was just one major platform that you could use that would have, all your backlinking and all of your platforms on one page, which is kind of what music does, right? Too, when let's say an artist releases a new track or whatever, you have on Instagram like the swipe up feature where it brings you to that homepage of like download on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud.
And these are the things that you specialize in pushing artists.
Yeah,
and
big time.
With
big time.
what your talents are to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what would you feel is the most important thing before we get into your top 5? Because we are going to do Alesi's top 5 songs that describe her as a person from where she was to where she is today.
Yep.
All right, here on Hollywood North. We haven't done it in a while, so we're going to bring it back. She's the first person to do it in 2020. So I just thought just answer that one question, and then we'll move on to that. Like, so which one? I'm going to switch it. What's your favorite one to do when it comes to either artist development or is it artist promotions or?
I would have to say Brand management.
Okay.
Branding is something that just excites me. I think there's something cool about taking someone who has a bunch of ideas and a bunch of creativity and energy. Look at these fools.
Like, my girlfriend shows up and she just turns up the place. It's like, Jesus Christ, Donna.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Okay. It's a party over here.
It has been quite interesting
an
2 hours, I'll tell you.
So funny. Continue.
It's branding. It's all about, packaging a bunch of ideas into one, like just creating synergy between
Right.
it all. And I think something about that just gets me going, whether it's, I work in the cannabis space right now, which is different. I'm learning a lot, and it's something
Do you
that
smoke
I'm not,
cannabis?
not a lot.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting, girl?
Shame.
I was sponsored by a company last year,
Yeah.
Birch and Fog. Shout out to them. But they sponsored me because I was like, I don't smoke weed at all. So my thing going into it was like, you know what? Give me weed, give me all this shit for like 30 days, and I'm gonna like just do it for 30 days. I'm gonna see, does it work for me? Does it not? Whatever. And yeah, it was quite interesting.
What's the verdict?
At the end of the day, I don't smoke weed. It just doesn't work for me.
What does it do? It affects people in different ways.
Yeah, so I've suffered from anxiety disorder since I was younger. So for me, weed just like heightens everything for me. So, but I tried to find something that would maybe like lessen that, but I just realized by the end of the day it was just probably better for me to not smoke weed.
it
But
at
I
all?
understand that people smoke weed to, I mean, your state is still altered when you're smoking weed. So, but it was just interesting in the sense of like when you're working with a brand, like you said, right? It's like you come in and you're like, okay, you've got all these ideas. Let's put them together. Let's push forward with like an idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool because you do like the artist side of stuff, but you also work with brands too, which is not like just like so with your artists that you work with, you can just work with brands generally with your artists and push forward.
Yeah,
So that's
precisely. Yeah, and I mean, even if you, because like Yesway, shout out Yesway.
Yep.
The homie from Toronto. What? I went to Toronto 2 years ago. He showed me a good fucking time, I'll tell
Yeah, I
you.
bet.
Oh, my boss at the time, he put me up in the Trump. I had like a fucking penthouse. So I invited him over and like a bunch of his friends, and they came over and like, they're like, "This is your suite?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." My boss hooked me up. They were like, "What the fuck?" They took me to the club. They lit me up in Toronto. It was fun. It was fun.
Dope.
I lived the life for a night. It was great.
It's fun,
I
right?
don't do that, but yeah, it was great. I
So
loved
Yesway,
it.
you were saying about Yesway.
Yeah.
We go off on that tangent. No, with Yesway, I was just saying, he's an interesting artist that I have the pleasure to work with. Yeah, because also, he pushes great music, but at the same time, he's pushing the Earner's Life brand. So
Right.
something like that, where you can find the synergy between both and push them together
Right.
into one common lifestyle, is really cool. Like even what Drake's done, right, with the OVO. Like
Yes.
that's the type of shit that really gets me going. I
Okay.
just think that's super exciting to create a lifestyle brand and someone that, or something that someone can really hold on to and bring in different processes into their life.
Right.
Right? They can see it all over as opposed to just a niche, a
Right.
niche music brand.
Yeah, that's it. This is it. All you're gonna get from him is music, and you might see him in a couple clubs with some sparkles.
Yeah.
Sparklers,
But you gotta make your brand new like every few years too. I mean, you can't just always stay the same.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
reinventing
people
as
are
you
gonna
drop
be
your
like,
albums and so on and
you know
stuff
what I
like
mean?
that.
Yeah, you got to stay relevant. That's
So-
all it comes down to.
Right now, it is time to get into and to get to know you a little bit more
Top 5.
by talking about your top 5 songs that describe you as a person from where you were to where you are today. So for those of you who haven't experienced the top 5 is where, like I said, she picks 5 songs to describe her as a person. So we'll go from number 5 and count down to number 1. So her number 5 song will be, I don't know where it'll start. We never know where it starts. So I want to, before you say the name of the song, I want to talk about your number 5 song and where it starts and how you came up to picking this song as the song that you're going to choose to, I guess, describe you as a person from the beginning.
Yeah, so I mean, my number 5, I'd have to place it back to maybe 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, where I wasn't really in the greatest state mentally, physically. I was burnt out. I was tired. I wasn't excited with where I was living. This was back in Ottawa, and I
Okay.
was, finishing up school. I didn't
We don't
really.
blame you.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I feel like I didn't get the. I didn't.
The love that you needed in order
I didn't get
to
the love
pursue.
from certain family members, friends. I didn't feel the support, and I just needed something new and different. So this song in particular, it really got me through that period, and it kind of pushed me into an escape, almost, because music's something that it everyone speaks that language. Everyone can understand it, no matter where you're from or
Right.
Yeah.
or your background. And I feel like that's what I used music for, to express myself and to allow my brain to escape from where I was in.
Right.
So the song.
It's
I'm
called
allowed to
Bitch
say
Better
it.
Have My Money. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Bitch, but I have my
Bitch better have my money.
money.
No, I'm just playing. sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Alesi. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's not
number
Bitch Better
5
Have
song
My
is-
Money, but so it's something no one's gonna know. It's Paranoia, Ghosts, and Other Sounds.
Yeah, that's my shit right there. White people. We
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
John, you're my brother, okay? You know.
Right on.
dragged into
Okay. So sorry. Once again, the song is called.
Paranoia, Ghosts, and Other Sounds by, I'm pretty sure you say it's Safia.
All right,
Not
so
exactly sure.
There you have it. The number 5 song on the countdown of Alesi Zito's life, right here on Hollywood North Radio, where the celebrities come to play. Yes, and that was the number 5 song on the soundtrack of Alesi Zito's life. That was
Paranoia, Ghosts, and Other Sounds by Safia.
White Person song number 1, but it's number 5 on the list. No, I'm just joking. I'm playing that one. So we're having a great day. It's a great show so far today.
So good. So much fun today.
Alesi. I've never heard that name before, to be honest with you. You're the first Alesi that I've actually met.
He can't
And-
pronounce names correctly,
No,
neither can I, but I let him
Took him
do
a
it
couple
so that he
times.
fails, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's how you say it. 'Cause I
Ignorant,
try to,
like fuck. It's
yeah,
just,
I
wow.
try to pretend like I know, but I don't. It's okay.
Yeah, it's wow. But so what's your nationality?
So I'm Italian. I was born here. My parents were born here as well. But my name
Why you
actually
gotta
has,
look fucking like that?
it's an interesting story, right, Mama?
Come here, mama. Come here, mama. Come here, mama.
This is my beautiful
Come
mom.
here, mama. This is
This
mama.
is my best friend.
Hi, mama.
I
Say
love her.
hi.
Say hi.
Hi, everyone.
You see how mama gave you the sexy voice? Hi, everyone.
Oh my God, that's your mom for real?
Yeah, for real.
Oh my
Shit.
God, family in here.
Yeah.
So basically, my dad used to be a race car driver, and he really liked this racer Jean Alesi, and my mom, I guess, was just too far gone into
Labor?
So that's how I ended
Okay.
up with the name, that she didn't really fight it off, and I got this race car driver's
dad's name?
last name, Eric.
Eric. For God's sakes, Eric, fine! Fucking Alesi it is! Jesus Christ! Having a fucking baby here!
Oh my
I'm just joking. I'm joking. Is that how it kind of went, Mom?
It was very similar to that,
very
yeah.
so- Okay, all right. Go, right on.
All right. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I got the name.
And that's proof because Mom's is here.
Yeah.
Mom's solid. Mom just gave it the stamp of approval. Mm-hmm.
The momager is here. I
Yeah.
love it.
The momager.
This is the shit.
She's my
Yes.
Kris Jenner.
Yes.
Wicked. Love
Yes.
it. Okay, so let's talk about your number 4 song on the soundtrack of your life. Tell us a little bit about that and then tell us what the name of the song is. And why.
So, to give you a little bit of the backstory, so I had moved out of Ottawa to Toronto. When I moved to Toronto, not gonna lie, I was pretty friggin' scared.
Mm-hmm.
I was by myself. I moved into a 1-bedroom apartment. I knew 0 people
Don't
there.
say in Rexdale.
Not Rexdale. Don't.
I don't know what that is.
No,
Is that
Jane
bad?
Lynch.
Is
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
that Surrey to Vancouver?
No, I wouldn't call it that. A little worse. Anyway, so
Sure.
continue.
And
It's real.
yeah, I was in a weird spot. I was going through a lot of anger from my past, and I wasn't the happiest kid out there. I was really just pushing through, trying to get through school, get my degree, but I was holding all that anger and resentment towards my past. So my aggression definitely just came through, and it was okay in the
Then
moment
a part of the
because
genes in you is Italian. You kind of fucked
yeah,
up
I mean, I'm
from
a
the
little
start.
feisty. I'm a little
Like,
yeah.
European roots, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm
It is what
talking
it
about.
is.
You know what I
You
mean?
damaged from the start. Like
German,
Yeah, it's for real.
Italian.
No,
Yeah.
so finish. Yeah, continue.
So basically, when I felt all this anger and whatnot, I really leaned towards Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne and Eminem.
Like say MMA or something like
yeah,
that. but
no,
okay.
like yeah, definitely not. But
Good girl.
so yeah, so this is where the next song comes in. No Love. I'm sure we're all familiar with that song. Lil Wayne, Eminem. Super aggressive.
Oh, wow.
Song. Yeah. I was just like cut off. I had no love. I had no love basically for anyone other than my beautiful mom.
Cool.
And yeah, so
All right, well, there we have it. The number 4 song on the soundtrack of Alesi Zito's life is Lil Wayne, No Love. For y'all niggas. No, I'm just joking. I'm puffing. No Love. Right here on Hollywood North Radio. Where the celebrities
Come to play. You stupid.
Yes. We are back right here live on Hollywood North Radio.
Where the celebrities.
Alesi comes to play Zito.
Ooh.
Right,
He checked me real quick.
Why? What did I do? I didn't do it. Well,
No,
Alessi-
I know. I'm just saying.
And that was her number 4 song, No Love, featuring Lil Wayne, featuring Eminem, right here on the soundtrack of Alesi, because her mom told me exactly. So not mom.
Get
come
it
on.
right.
No, because Ma gave me the remix. Ma said it sounds more sexy than Italian. It's like
Oh, man.
Alesi Zito. So I'm gonna go with Alesi.
He doesn't get anything right.
Zito.
Can we talk
I'm
about
just
the
a
electric
man.
car that's on the street, though? This is cool.
Oh my.
I feel like we need to turn this into like a new thing, right?
I can't.
He's got an
He's
electric
swerving.
car, and it's like,
We've seen a lot.
see, look.
Yeah, we got a lot of
I
weird shit
know.
around here.
I've said a lot of things today that need to be erased. So
Let-
let's talk about your
Number
number 3
3.
song.
All right, so my number 3 song, once I got past all that anger and I realized the anger wasn't any good for me, I couldn't really push through with the anger on my back.
Right.
And I really just took a step back and analyzed the city that I was in and realized that, there is no remorse in Toronto.
Nope.
If you fall, no one's really going to help you get back up. You just got to do it on your own. So at this point, I'm just pushing through, getting 2 degrees, working my ass off full time. And I also had, my own personal struggles, and I was still going through some traumas from a couple years back. So I was
'Cause-
working through all that.
And not to interrupt you, but Toronto is like the LA of Canada,
Yeah.
though.
New
Vancouver
York
isn't.
and New York. New
No,
York-
no, no.
Toronto's like the New York.
What is
of-
the LA
of
of Canada then?
Vancouver.
No, it's not.
I'm
it
telling
is
you.
not.
Or Montreal. Call Montreal
Oh
then.
God.
Toronto's
'Cause
got
I'm
a
telling
different
you.
energy.
Toronto
That's
is
what
like
I'm
New
saying.
York.
Yeah,
It's
like-
like New York. LA is more
Sorry,
like.
I didn't mean to interrupt your
The
Henny.
cutthroat part.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
For Canada, Toronto has that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just in this zone in my head, and I realized that it's friggin' exhausting. And I was just always tired. I could never get it right. I'd fall and I'd get back up, and I'd fall and I'd get back up. And so this song, it's a newer song. It came out very recently, but had that song been around, that would have been it.
Spoke to you, yeah.
Like
Okay.
instantly I heard it and I was like, wow, this is where I was.
Okay.
So it's by NF and it's called My Stress. I'm not sure if you guys have heard it.
Never heard it,
It's a little
Probably not.
intense.
but I'm love it.
NF's pretty unreal. He's very, very talented.
NF?
and- yeah.
Cool.
And it's called.
My Stress.
Okay. This is the number 3 song on the soundtrack of Alesi
Say it
Zito.
correctly.
Say it right.
Thanks, Mom, for screwing it up. Alesi Zito's life. Number 3. It's called MF.
On Hollywood North Radio.
It's called NF.
My Stress.
My Stress. Yeah, NF. It's by
I
My
try to
Stress.
imitate you
Oh my God.
on
Hollywood North
Hollywood
Radio.
North Radio, where the celebrities come to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you.
Wow. Yeah. That was the number 3 song on the soundtrack of Alesi Zito's life. NF, My Stress. Fucking dope.
That's
3
a
dope
pretty
songs.
deep song, though.
Yeah.
Yo, I was looking at Quiet Storm.
getting my
Guaranteed Quiet
feelings
Storm
right
wanted
there
to
when I
go
walked right
make
in. I
a
was
beat
like,
and start
damn.
writing rhymes right now. Am I wrong, Quiet Storm? Am I wrong? That look at the nigga's face that he had looking out the window. He's like, yo, I'm gonna go to the studio, make a beat. I'm gonna start writing. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make it. Am I wrong? You felt like spitting some bars there for a second, didn't you?
Never wrong.
Huh?
No.
What the fuck
You
am I
didn't?
doing?
That was the inspired for
It was inspirational, right? Yo, his head was bobbing. I seen him like calculating rhymes in his head and shit. I saw it, yo. That was dope. NF, I'm gonna download that.
Yeah, I
dude's
like
music.
that
I'm
song
gonna get
too.
it. I'm definitely a fan now. NF, My Stress. Okay, now let's move on to the number 2 song in the soundtrack of your life.
All right. So at that point in my life, I was feeling pretty rebellious. I didn't have the patience for people. I felt like, everyone was sharing opinions when it wasn't their turn to share that opinion. I feel like everyone always, they think that they can, chime in and tell you what's best, but they're not the ones in the situation
100%.
and they don't know all the facts. If you don't know all the facts and you don't know how it makes me feel, then how are you going to tell me what's right or what's wrong?
That's yeah.
Real spit.
Yeah. So this next song, number 2, it's by, I never know how to say it. It's like 6 Black or Black or
6 Black.
6 Black.
I say slack.
Just
Black.
completely
I'll
wrong.
let you say it.
Black.
I'll let you guys say it.
It's black.
Six black.
Black. It's 6 Black. It's 6 Black.
It's Six Black?
It's 6 Black. 6
So
Black.
this song is called Switch, and it kind of made me feel like switching body. There's a part in the lyrics. It's like switch bodies for a day. You can be me, I'll be you. It's not what you thought it was. Something like that.
Boom.
It's like,
That's
so
crazy.
yeah,
I like
just
that.
stuff like that. It's pretty easy listening
Cool.
song. You'll understand. Yeah.
All right, so there, the number 2 song on the soundtrack of Alesi Zito's life. Did I say that good enough, Mom?
No.
All right, there we go.
Oh my
Alesi
God.
Zito's life is. Sorry, you don't throw me off here. Okay, it is 6 Black.
Switch.
Switch. Right here on Hollywood North Radio.
Where the celebrities
they
come to
for
play.
Wow. That was number 2 by 6 Black. It was called Switch on the soundtrack of Alesi Zito's
Here we go
life. I
again.
fucking
Can we just
love
say it correctly? Mom, come here
Alesi
for a
Zito.
second. No.
Mom ain't getting involved no more. Mom's like, I gotta get in the car
Okay.
with her. I gotta get, no, you just, sleepy. You think you're chubby and you're funny and it's all good, but you're gonna get me in trouble.
Yeah.
But, fuck that. I'm just playing. I'm joking. But you know what? I love the support system that you have. And I love the support system that you give a lot of these artists. And when you came on the show, and I just watched the way how Yes Way was grinding, and you quarterbacked a lot of it. And a lot of people don't see that. A lot of people don't see that there's like a coach, there's a quarterback, and there's the team.
They never see like the team. They only
behind the
see what they like.
What they see in front of them, but
Yeah.
presented from the
Yeah.
artist, right?
Yeah.
So I caught that one time where I was like, yo, her and I was like, it was like we were throwing the ball back and forth, and it was like, okay, finally I'm like, oh shit, no. Because I thought that she didn't sense something, and I was like, no, I got to take that lump. And I looked back and I saw that everything was there, and I'm like, wow, this girl's fucking incredible. When I actually took the time to go back and look at everything leading up to that, and then to miss one small thing, it could totally make it look like it's the manager's fault. If someone doesn't take the fucking reins and go, no, that was not my bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, nope. And immediately I owned it.
Yeah, you did.
And I was like, okay, so now let's move forward. Because it was weird, because I think at that moment, that's when I was like, oh, I totally forgot what it takes from behind the scenes to get an artist to where they are.
Yeah.
And you were like dedicated. Like she had stress on her face. Like, you know, like
Probably.
stress
Yeah.
on your face.
Yeah. I
Like
wear
you can
that.
only smile for like a second and a half. And then it goes back to your phone. Okay, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah, I
what's
gotta answer
happened.
this email.
That's what happens when you're like involved, when you're really trying to like do work.
Yeah.
Especially without like a big team behind you, right? Like you're carrying it. You're carrying all that weight, and if it falls on you.
Right.
So,
100%. And I want to talk about your number 1 song. We've got there. Yo, we're at number 1. We are at number 1 on the soundtrack of Alesi Zito's life. The soundtrack of your life is based on 5 songs that describe you as a person, from where you were to where you are today.
now. Yep.
And I would love you to tell everybody, you can find her on Instagram at Manager Zito.
Yep.
On Instagram. So for those of y'all who want some representation and ain't trying to waste people's fucking time, hit her up. and she'll see what
Yeah,
the
she's
deal
serious
is.
business.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
don't fuck
do the
around.
don't do the happy
we don't
meal.
want no
don't
like
come with the happy meal
you know,
shit. Like this,
exactly like part-time
like,
bullshit.
Yeah,
We
I
don't fuck
think,
around with
I don't
that
know,
around here.
and I don't know if I can afford it, but like,
She
fuck outta
costs
here.
big.
Get a second job.
dollars.
Get a second job. It was worth it. But anyway,
She'll tell you to fuck off real
Thanks,
quick.
let's talk about your number one song.
Yeah, so my number one song, once I got past the whole, like, didn't care about your opinion, didn't care about yours either, I put away the anger, I put away all of that, aggressiveness, and I started seeing the finish line. I was, almost done both my degrees now. I was still working, like crazy hours. I was working a couple jobs, but now that I saw the finish line coming, I just knew that was it, just make those 2 degrees, get them in your hands, and then move.
Right.
Because I'm one of those people, I can't really stay in one place for a long period of
Amen.
time. Yeah. So, Toronto, I felt like I had worn it out. It was a little bit expired for me. I needed something new. I wasn't excited anymore. And I didn't feel like the right challenges were presenting themselves in the city.
Right.
Like when it's like, man, I really shouldn't be dealing with this. I think I needed a change. So I decided, I was going to move out to Vancouver. I needed a switch of scenery. I was feeling a little bit, just not happy. And once I got those 2 degrees, I moved pretty much right away to Vancouver. I've been here about 7 months now. That could be completely wrong.
It seems
but
a lot longer than that.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I mean, I've seen you a couple times.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's been a lot. This is almost good. This is our 100.
I was like, are you new in Vancouver? Because I would know who you were if you were here. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, at this point of my life, I felt uncomfortable, but something actually my mom used to say it to me when I was younger, and it's always stuck with me. And every time I feel uncomfortable, and I would express that to her, she'd always go, that's okay. That means you're growing, right? So as soon as you felt uncomfortable in that situation, it didn't mean that you weren't supposed to be there. It just meant that you were meant to figure it out. So when I moved here, I was a little bit unsettled. I took my time, and I realized that the part that I thought was the hardest initially was getting through school and whatnot.
Right.
But really what it was finishing all that and then taking it where I wanted it to go.
Okay.
That's the hardest part. And I
Okay.
realized, the people I was interacting with, they weren't actually the people that they said they were, Like everyone kind of puts on
False
that.
advertising.
Yeah, like it's just
Yeah.
so the song speaks for itself. It's by Drake and it's called Emotionless. But yeah, enjoy, guys.
Cool.
The number one song was by Drake. It's called Emotionless on Alesi Zito's soundtrack of a life. We'd like to thank Alesi for coming through here on Hollywood
Thank
North
you
Radio.
so much, darling.
We'd like to thank all of our
We
guests.
love you.
Rum and Coke Radio. You can catch them every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
We'll be on
And
their
you'll
show
catch
this Tuesday.
Hollywood North Radio on that show.
Yes.
Just like Brittany just said. My parrot just said we're gonna be
My
there on
parrot.
Tuesday.
My pirate.
And thank y'all for listening. And we don't forget, Farah has a new single coming out right now, Swinging Water, something like that. Underwater. And you can catch it like next. It's fucking around. Okay. Hollywood North Radio.